Hello, this is CO4E Systems here, and this is the Gunblade Build Diary Part 12. Today I'll be going through the Featherweight rail upgrades as described in the previous video. The first major upgrade is the Hardox weapon bar. This new one has a slightly larger centre hole in order to fit on the new shoulder bolt. As well as this, it is slightly thicker, more compact and heavier at 2 kilograms as opposed to 1.8 kilograms of the old bar. Also in this picture, the side panels have been taken off and they're going to be cut down by 1.5 centimeters. This is done to save weight on the robot and also be able to fit the shoulder bolt properly on the front of the chassis. As for mounting the shoulder bolt itself, I ordered some new brackets for 16mm and just over 20mm from K-Cut, and because they were small items I got some spares because I knew it'd save on delivery costs. So then I could start putting the weapon assembly together again, and we have the new HDP bracket there that sits between the weapon bar and the aluminium pulley. For the pulley itself I went to the local makerspace where I could use their pillar drill to get the holes perfectly vertical and exactly where I wanted them. I purchased these new thrust bearings. They were an improvement over the old ones. These sit between the weapon bar and the chassis on both sides. So moving on to the weapon ESC upgrade. This red brick is the standard for most UK featherweight combat robots for full combat spinners. This is an upgrade in power from my old ESC. So now the next major upgrade here is the top front panel, which of course is going to change shape. It has a narrower front profile, so therefore more weapons exposed, and it's also easier to engage vertical spinners. This one's the mid-top panel upgrade, which adds extra layers. And because the weapon motor is now mounted higher, the centre hole goes all the way up to the top. This is the chassis with the old centre top plate on top of the new upgrades. I've added penny washers at the top here so that all these thinner HDP layers don't just split up on a rear chassis hit from another spinner. As you can see here, all the top panel upgrades fit quite nicely together on the old chassis. At the front, where the shoulder bolt is mounted to the robot, I've also changed the M8 countersunk bolts to M8 button head bolts. The countersunk bolts don't really do anything in that scenario, so they got replaced. So later on here I'm going back to the top front plate, trimming it down where I can to save weight, and also adding some weight saving holes. So in summary, the main changes there are the weapon bar and the weapon assembly with the shoulder bolt. That's all new for Gunblade 1.5. The top panels of the robot have almost completely changed apart from the very back. I've added longer M5 bolts on the top panel where possible to add more structural strength. I've also switched over from the stock motor mount to a custom aluminium motor mount for the weapon motor, which is one of the main upgrades from the last video, and the overall chassis is now more compact. In the next episode I'll go into belt tensioning upgrades and more detail on the weapon power and how to improve the spin up time. So that brings this episode to a close, and I'll see you in the next video.